Forget the dusty textbooks that put you to sleep. Right now, you aren't just a student behind a screen. You are the most powerful man in the world's most ambitious republic. You are the man who crossed the Rubicon, the man who brought the fierce Gauls to their knees, and the man whose name will become a title for emperors for the next 2,000 years. This isn't a lesson, it's your life. It's 49 BC, and as you stand on the banks of a small narrow river in northern Italy, you know that one single step will change the course of human history forever. Your heart is racing, your legions are behind you, and the Roman Senate is trembling in fear. This is your journey, Gaius Julius Caesar. Your life doesn't start with a crown, it starts with a struggle. You were born into a noble but faded family. In a city like Rome, where money is power, you had the name but not the gold. You realized early on that if you wanted to reach the top, you'd have to take it. When you were young, you were captured by Cilician pirates. They demanded 20 talents of silver for your ransom. You laughed in their faces, telling them you were worth at least 50. For weeks, you treated your kidnappers like your servants, writing poetry and telling them that once you were free, you'd return and crucify every single one of them. They thought you were joking. They were wrong. As soon as the ransom was paid, you raised a fleet, hunted them down, and did exactly what you promised. That's the first thing the world learned about you. Julius Caesar always keeps his word, especially when it involves vengeance. Rome is a shark tank, and you are the apex predator. To gain control, you form an unholy alliance, the first triumvirate. You team up with Pompey the Great, Rome's most famous general, and Crassus, the richest man in the city. Together, you own Rome, but a shared throne is never enough for you. You secure the governorship of Gaul, a wild, unconquered land. For 8 long years, you lead your legions through forests and swamps. You fight millions of Gauls. You cross the Rhine into Germany just to show you can. And you even sail across the sea to a mysterious island called Britain. Your soldiers don't just follow you, they love you. You eat what they eat, you sleep where they sleep, and you fight on the front lines. By the time the Gallic Wars are over, you've conquered a territory larger than the Republic itself. You are no longer just a politician, you are a living legend. Success breeds enemies. Back in Rome, the Senate is terrified of your power. Crassus is dead, and Pompey has turned against you. They order you to disband your army and return to Rome to face trial. You know that if you go back without your legions, you're a dead man. So, in January of 49 BC, you reach the Rubicon. Crossing it with an army is an act of high treason. You pause, looking at the dark water. Then, with a smirk, you utter the words that define your gamble. Alea iacta est. The die is cast. You lead your veteran 13th Legion into Italy. The civil war has begun. Pompey and the Senate flee to Greece, but you hunt them down across the Mediterranean. At the Battle of Pharsalus, despite being outnumbered, your tactical genius destroys Pompey's forces. The world is yours for the taking. Your pursuit of Pompey leads you to Egypt, where you meet a woman as ambitious as yourself, Cleopatra. You don't just secure Egypt for Rome, you fall for its queen. After a brief but bloody war in the Nile, you return to Rome as an undisputed master. The Senate, now filled with your supporters, names you dictator in perpetuity. You don't just sit on a throne, you get to work. You reform the grain doles for the poor, grant citizenship to foreigners, and you even fix the calendar, creating the Julian calendar that the world will use for centuries. You are building a new Rome centered around you, but in the shadows, the old guard is whispering. They call you a tyrant. They say you want to be a king. And in Rome, king is a dirty word. It's March 15th, 44 BC, the Ides of March. Your wife, Calpurnia, begs you not to go to the Senate. She's had nightmares of your death. You hesitate, but Brutus convinces you it's just superstition. As you enter the theater of Pompey, a group of senators surrounds you. Suddenly the first blade strikes. You fight back like a lion until you see him. Marcus Brutus, the man you treated like a son, holding a dagger. You stop fighting. You pull your toga over your head and whisper your final words. Et tu, Brute. You fall, stabbed 23 times. The conspirators think they've saved the Republic, but they've only ensured its death. Your heir, Octavian, will rise from your ashes to become Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. Your life is over, but your name, Caesar, will live forever. Your blood paid for the foundation of an empire that would last for centuries. This was your life as Julius Caesar. If you want to continue stepping into the shoes of history's greatest legends, make sure to subscribe to History Persona. The next journey is waiting for you.